Hi, thanks so much for your interest. I just wanted to introduce myself in our rotation here at Reliance. My name is Tom Steele. I'm a clinical operations manager and a preceptor here at Reliance Rx. We're going to go over our longitudinal experience, kind of give you a rundown on what to expect there, some overviews of that, and then just a quick explanation of the application process. And I'll attach my contact information at the end that you could send me any questions you have. But to start, our longitudinal experience is a 12-week experience, which would include 6 weeks of APPE AM care and 6 weeks of APPE elective to direct or non-direct patient care. So who are we? So we are Reliance Rx Specialty Pharmacy. We're a specialty pharmacy based out of Western New York in the Buffalo area. We service a number of different insurances, and one of our biggest payers is Independent Health, but we service some other payers in the area and international or within the country as well. So over our 12 weeks here, why would this be a good rotation, be a good fit for you? Like what would be interesting? One, we would provide a little bit of AM care experience and satisfy one of your core rotations, and then also give you an opportunity to do some elective work as well. Our elective is more focused in the clinical side, which I'll go over. Our clinical programs management later on in this presentation gives you some experience hands-on working in the realm of specialty pharmacy, handling some of the biologics that are dispensed for various disease states. Some of which maybe you have seen in community setting, but a lot of them which you have not. It's going to provide you with a mix of outpatient care and clinical pharmacy experience, as we do have a very decent chunk of similarities with community pharmacy in the dispensing role. However, we are more of a closed door pharmacy, kind of operating in that manner with a lot of deliveries. Our pharmacist to script ratio is a bit higher than most other dispensing pharmacies because we have a decent amount of clinical outreach that we need to accomplish throughout the day. We have a good amount of items we need to check as well for each dispense. So you get a pretty high level clinical experience for dispensing pharmacy as we are kind of in more of an AM care dispensing role. And then an opportunity to provide continual patient care with an emphasis on impactful interactions. So again, a lot of our patient-centered interactions are value-based. We're trying to make sure that our patients who are on these very expensive and very high-touch medications are getting optimal outcomes. So there's definitely a number of programs that you're going to help out with there. And then obviously the ability to apply management and business skills. Myself and a few of the other pharmacists here are PharmD MBAs. Definitely a lot of management experience here on site, not only on the business end of like obtaining new business and maintaining new business, but also on the side of managing programs and managing teams. So we'll definitely give you some insights there. So what kind of clinical items would you see? So a lot of the various disease states, inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, Crohn's and colitis, psoriasis, those types of things are probably our biggest chunk. You'll deal with some cystic fibrosis medications. As far as infectious disease, Hep C and HIV are huge. Disease states that we manage, MS is huge, especially in this area with the increased prevalence. We have a lot of patients there. Oncology, definitely working to get some stat dispenses out for patients who are discharged and maintain therapy for those that are going through different cycles. And then some pulmonary conditions like pulmonary arterial hypertension, RSV, things like that. So those are just a number of the disease states we touch. There's a lot of also one-off disease states that we help manage with our patients. Operationally, going through the very basic steps of a specialty pharmacy. So patient onboarding, benefits investigation, counseling, those types of steps. Disease state management. So once we have the patients here, onboarded on their medication, going over the initial counsel. There's also follow-up that's there as well for patients either who are doing well, just making sure that they're maintaining efficacy, and those folks that do need additional clinical follow-up due to non-compliance or issues with efficacy, we make sure that we follow up with those folks as well, and you be part of that process. Going over, limited distribution medications and a high level, just, going over what the importance of that is, how that impacts our business and how it impacts our patients. Benefits investigation, as I mentioned previously during the onboarding process, and how those copays and copay assistance programs factor into compliance in our efforts and to get them patients on medication, and to avoid those cost barriers that are there with specialty pharmaceuticals. And then a high level overview of marketing and sales. We have a number of pharmacists in more business related roles, industry relations executive, trade relations executive, clinical account pharmacists. Those types of folks will have you talk to, go over their day-to-day at a high level and give you some insights into how that plays a role in specialty pharmacy. So different options there. And again, over the course of 12 weeks, giving you a good deep dive. So rotation overview. So what would you expect? Again, we'll go over this, especially if you're interested in apply, you could definitely feel free to ask questions then, or shoot me an email, which I'll give you my contact information. But just to give you a general overview of what to expect, the initial 6 weeks would be the ambulatory care piece, where we would really touch in on the workflow and patient care parts of this. Workflow would be more of the traditional dispensing part, going over the cold chain distribution and storage conditions of our medications, helping to get a script prepared for pharmacists to check, and all the filling steps there, such as collating, printing the labels, filling the drug, inventorying the drug, making sure that all of our specs are correct for storage, things like that. Very, don't want to say basic, but very foundational pieces of our rotation, is really just to make sure that you have hands-on experience. And that's how we train all of our pharmacists and things like that. So definitely an important piece there. Next, we would do patient care. So making sure that you're confident and competent in your abilities to outreach to providers to clarify a prescription, identify prescriptions that would need clarification, review counseling points that we would go over with patients, different types of outreach to help with patient education on devices, disease state, medication, things like that, follow up as needed. It all depends on the day-to-day, but those are the two, again, probably most relatable to an AmCare outpatient facing pharmacy. Again, a lot of our patient care is, I guess technically would be via phone call, but we do have some patients that do come in person. Systems management. So to kind of go over that alongside topic presentations, that would be more baked into the elective piece of this, which you'll be following more closely with my job description as a clinical operations manager. So managing, helping to maintain and manage a level of clinical education systems that we have here in our pharmacy that are disease state focused. That kind of goes along with the topic presentations on those disease states. So especially during that first 6 weeks when you're kind of getting your feet wet and understanding specialty pharmacy, one of the things I'll task you with is to pay attention to what you're doing as far as the medications. Find some medications and disease states that pique your interest, and I will make sure to match the topic presentations and the systems that we're managing as far as a clinical component to those interests. So again, just maintaining all the different clinical follow-up pieces as part of system management that I oversee. Not to get too into the weeds, there's a lot of different details there, but that stuff will be more on the elective side, same with the topic presentations. And again, it's just more of like a kind of bringing that experience you get from the first 6 weeks into the second 6 weeks to help with some higher level pieces there. So what would we need for folks that are interested? Pretty straightforward. We would just need you to send an up-to-date resume. Once we review the applicants and the resumes, we will just schedule an interview as part of the standard process there. And then with our HR team, just when you're onboarding, they would need your information to do a background check, drug screening, and then standard intern permit and name badge will be needed for you to get started. So that's just a general overview of the site, expectations, what to expect. Just wanted to add this piece here too. This is our mission, vision, and values here at Reliance. Really is important to be collaborative, accessible, results oriented, empowering, and supportive. So those are some of the key things we like to drive home here with the folks working, because you would be joining our team and working as a part of our team. Collaboration is huge. You'll be working with different departments for sure while you're here during the 12 weeks. Some folks might have you tapped in to do some project work, things like that. So just being able to communicate well and collaborate with our team is huge. Definitely making sure that we're accessible to you as a student learning, and just giving you like a challenging environment to provide some results, maybe just a little bit different than what you might have been challenged with in the past as far as community or ambulatory care. Because our goal really is just to empower our patients and support them through their time on their medication. So again, just wanted to run through that with you. Lastly, any questions? I'm definitely open. Please just shoot me an email to my UB email that's listed here. You can always touch base with your folks at UB in the school of pharmacy. I'm sure they'll connect you over if you don't have that email or you forget it or whatever. Definitely look forward to hearing from you guys, and appreciate the time and the interest. Take care.